You just heard Mary's song. It's sometimes called the Magnificat because in Latin it translates, the first line translates to, "My soul magnifies the Lord." Mary's song is actually a response to this incredible event that just turns her life upside down. The angel of the Lord has appeared to Mary, and he's told her, a teenage girl in the ancient Middle East who's engaged to Joseph, that she, although she's a virgin, is going to give birth to the Savior of the world. And Mary's response to this could be so many things, but her response is to forget herself and to forget her fear about her future and the anxiety that this news brings, and to magnify the Lord. When we magnify God, our problems just begin to look different. Our fears seem smaller, our worries shrink. When we magnify God, even our future looks less daunting. Relationship issues get smaller, and our perspective just begins to change. Now, we're all, I think, designed to magnify things in our life. It's just how we're made up. And you know when this becomes a problem, when your mind just constantly goes to an issue. It takes up a bigger and bigger chunk of your life, and your identity gets all wrapped up in it, and all your worries and your fears get tangled up somehow. And it might be anything. It can be relationship stuff. It can be money or college debt. It could be comparison about how you need to live up to some certain standard, yours or some standard that someone else imposes. Maybe the thing you're magnifying is a fear or an anxiety. Maybe it's about your future. Maybe it's about who may or may not be in your future, where you go, what you will do. But what if all of us this Christmas followed Mary's lead, and we took in the events of our life, the changes, the changing dynamics in family, maybe the future that seems really uncertain right now, making decisions about, do I go home and live with mom and dad and pay off some debt, or do I take a risk and go somewhere and try something new? But what if we all reflected on what we know about God, about the promises that He makes to us and the ways that we've seen Him show up in our own lives and in the lives of our friends, and we just magnified His greatness? The same promises and truths about God that Mary was able to lean into in a really crazy time in her life are the same promises that God makes to us today. Love is still the gift, and this love still defeats hate. Hope is still stronger than despair. There's a God who still answers prayers. His mercies are still new every morning. His forgiveness is still stronger than sin. His guidance is greater than human fears and human confusion. The cross is still sufficient grace. And this is all true because 2,000 years ago, a baby named Jesus was born in a little town called Bethlehem. And ever since that day, governments and economies and civilizations and cultures have been coming and going, but the kingdom that Jesus started is still spreading, and its light keeps shining brighter than when it started. And that is the good news of Christmas. What if everywhere we go this Christmas, we could magnify God and we could lean into His promises just like Mary did so long ago? What and who will you magnify? I hope you'll join with me this Christmas in leaning into the promises and the truth that God offered Mary so long ago, and that we can all join together in magnifying God and bringing Him glory this Christmas season. Merry Christmas.